Hello and welcome, Pauleh here. I'm playing Stranded Deep. Now, I've completely forgotten where my... completely forgotten which way I need to go to travel back. So we're just going to continue exploring. Now, I could probably do with sleeping, could probably do with drinking. For now though, we will forgo that. And we'll just make our way to the next place. I know that the direction I came has a one of those there, a shelter, along with the shipwrecks. So if we just go behind this island, we can see what we can come across. Although this may have been the island on the furthest... So one thing that I found reading about this game, they changed how it worked. So it's no longer randomly procedurally generated, I should say. There's now, like, I guess chunks, and you can see it in the cartographer when you're on the main menu. And it's basically like there's just a bunch of... It's like a big grid, and each grid has, like, you know, maybe it's just water, maybe it's got an island. And after, if that is the case, after discovering that, I kind of feel like, what's the point? Like, why am I doing any of this now? If there's only a few islands to explore, which is kind of disappointing. I mean, I guess there's a... You know, it makes sense, you've got to dive more perhaps to discover new things, but I don't know. If I'm wrong, please correct me. But after hearing that news, I have become very disappointed. But, because I enjoyed this game a lot more when it was more, you know... I don't know how to describe it. But just travelling around, maybe I'd find an island if I was lucky, and, you know, the world was massive. And then there was, like, the big towers in the ocean, whatever you want to call them, and I don't know. Oh, this is dark water. But yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that's left me a little bit disappointed. So I guess for now we're just gonna have a bit of an explore around. We're just gonna keep going from island to island, just seeing what's out there, because there's only so many islands, so... Like, there's nothing else this way. This must be the very edge. I don't know. I just feel like, wow, that's a bummer. I don't know. I feel like if that's how it is now, they've definitely done themselves a disservice. When it was just randomly generating and constantly generating, that was way better. But I don't know. I don't know. Let's have a look on this island. I'm pretty sure I've been here before. Actually, have I? Oh, look, a shark. Well, the shark's not going to get me here, so... We've got leather, that's important. Carburetor, don't need it. Label maker. I guess that's handy if I wanted to label anything, but I don't. Maybe I can make like a spear gun with it or something. I don't know. But yeah, let's have a look around. It's going dark, but that's fine. Trying to think of other survival games that aren't procedurally generated. Now, the forest would be a good one. And I guess the forest in this game are kind of what I draw the most comparisons, because they are very similar aesthetic-wise. With the exception one, you're stranding out at sea. The other, you're stranding on an island with a lot of hostiles. There's a massive difference between the two. But I don't know. Oh. I always need stone. Oh, I brought a refined hammer as well. I haven't needed a bandage yet, so let's take that. I mean, I could have just dumped the whole chest. How do I get up there? Whatever. But yeah, the forest, you're on a set island, and it's the same island every time. The same, you know, tree placement, the same everything. Except, you know, what the natives do on that island, the cannibals, you know. It's gonna be random. But that's a way more interesting world to go about than this. And if you're limited to just a handful of islands every time, then what's the... I don't know. I can totally see reasons for it and against it, but now I could mess with the map, and I may do it on a fresh start. But yeah, right now there's not much of a point to things in this. There isn't in most endless survival games, but it's like, especially in this one, I'm at a point where I can survive indefinitely. I've got water, I can fish if I need food, or I could, you know, get a farm going. That's no big deal. Okay, graphically though, this is amazing. Oh boy. It is going dark. Question is, which is my home island? It's not this one, I know that one for a fact. And it's not like I'm really lost at sea. Because again, there's only a few islands, I can just go to each of them. And I'm bound to find my way back. With that said, I don't see any more islands. Let's get back to this island. Have a look around. I also feel this game has too many sharks. Or at least... It's like anytime you step anywhere near water, there's a shark appears. They should have done it in a different manner, in the sense that the less noise you make, the less you splash around. You won't attract a shark, you know what I mean? But the more noise you make, the higher the chance of them coming. That would be a way better method to handling it, you know what I mean? Like, sharks can smell like a drop of blood from like miles away or whatever it is. So let's say you cut yourself like you're walking across the seafloor or just off the shore or something, or you kill a fish, just anything like that, that could alert them, but that gives you the opportunity to avoid alerting them. You could go for a swim, you could look around underwater. Maybe if you're splashing or floundering too much on the surface, you know, that can lure the sharks, I don't know. But I feel just every time going near to any body of water and you have like sharks turn up is a little bit ridiculous. And I feel it does ruin the game a little bit, but I'm not sure. It's hard to say. Okay, so I accidentally messed up and tabbed out of the game, and the game doesn't like to be tabbed out when I'm recording it. So I've probably lost all the progress up to this point in the video, but that was just sailing around and the machete. But it's actually good in a way because I can bring you to this on the main menu. This is the cartographer, and what this does, as you can see here, now I think this red, I could be completely wrong, but since this changes every time I've loaded it up, I'm going to assume this red square means my current location. So you can see what I'm getting at here with this game. This is the grid I was talking about, and Tainted Dark Escape, Tainted Ancient Corner, so there's probably stuff underwater, but it's like this is the world, this is all there is, these are all the islands that I could possibly go to. So it's a 5x5 grid. So I'm assuming this is how it works, and I could create an island. I believe it saves over my stuff, I'm not sure. Okay, so there's a whole creation thing here. I may as well show you this since my entire goal with this series is to just showcase stuff. So yeah, you can make, so look, so I could raise the ground here. That's kind of cool. I can set, or I can set the amount I can raise and lower it. Oh yeah. Yeah, okay, cool. Let's just let's go ahead, lower that a bit. And so we can just do straight up. I see. So there are all these different designs, different tools to do things. What's this? So I can give like uneven terrain, give spiky terrain. It's like filters. Set height. Oh, we can lower it, we can raise it. Reload terrain. Oh, there we go. We just brought it all up. Okay. So you can see everything fits in this square. Smooth height. So procedural. Generate a island. Yes, generate me a new island. There we go. Generate a shore map. What's a shore map? I don't know. So yeah, this is the tool basically. I can bring my camera, I can take it underwater. But yeah, so this is what all these islands are essentially made up of, and I ain't gonna lie, that's kind of disappointed me because just knowing how limited I am in terms of how far I could travel, it's kind of like what's the point? So I can drag a raft into the world. What else have we got? We got Wally. We got packages. We got a boy. Yeah. What else we got? Structures. Ton of different shipwrecks. So maybe the sea forts are still in game. I don't know. But for those that don't know, these were the sea forts, and they were connected with bridges, and they were pretty awesome to come across. Like almost terrifying, in fact, to come across these in the water. But it was cool. It was definitely cool, and I don't see any of those anymore. So what else we got? Okay, we got animals. Oh, I can set patrols. Oh my god. It's kind of cool if we want to look at stuff. This is the great white. We haven't actually seen any great whites. We've seen a whole bunch of tiger sharks though, and reef sharks, I believe. Oh, actually I haven't seen many reef sharks. That's supposed to be a whale, but I haven't seen that. All the different rocks. I figure I'll show you guys this since we're here, you know. The trees, the different types of trees, and there's only a few different kinds. And items, so basically everything you can craft and get your hands on and find and so on. So yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about any of this really. It's very disappointing in my opinion. Can I raise the land up here? I can. I mean, yeah, it's cool. You're able to build this. You know, you're able to, you know, make your own custom islands and stuff. But I'm back to the point where, wow, that's all I get to discover. Let me quit that. Get back to the main menu. No going back to the main menu for you. Game, please. There we go. So yeah, can we actually edit these? Nope, but I can delete them. So yeah, some of these are procedurally generated. They're procedurally generated random maps, but it's no fun. There's only gonna be, you know, like 25 at most islands that you can go to, and that's it. That doesn't seem enough for a survival game. Maybe I'm blowing this all out of proportion, but to me, I feel having the ability to explore is definitely one of the biggest things when it comes to survival games. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like maybe I am blown out of proportion and maybe just for this particular type of game, but like if all your like, oh, I don't know. I'm rambling a bit now because I'm so surprised. It's really a bummer because when I used to play this game, it was all randomly generated. You didn't know what you were going to find, and the world just felt bigger. Now it just feels like, oh, one of 25 islands. Okay, so if I get lost, well, there's only a few islands to go to, so I can just, you know, circle back to it. And yeah, I don't know, guys. What do you lot think? Do you feel that this was a change for the worse? Is the ability to create your own little islands fun? Like, what do you think? For me, I'm not sure about any of this anymore. It's made this whole environment feel a lot smaller than it actually is. And yeah, it's got some neat base building, and I love the idea of like being able to chop down trees, and you do have limited supplies, so you got to keep moving. But yeah, that's kind of a bummer. Anyway, that's all for now. Enough of my rants. Let me know what your thoughts are on this game, and see you next time. Until then.